So let's get our acceleration here. I'll get a better one from like more of a quote-unquote dig. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be going over the all-new Acura RDX. Before we get into this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jody Wilkinson Acura here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this RDX. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And if you don't know, the Jody Wilkinson Acura in Salt Lake City, Utah does not charge any sort of markups over MSRP whatsoever. Even during the peak of the pandemic, they did not mark up their cars. So if you want a great deal on a new Acura, reach out to them, ask for Rachel if you have any questions. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 21 around town, and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 272 horsepower and then 280 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go to the front end, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Starting with the hood, if you're wondering, this color is called Apex Blue Pearl, and it's such a cool looking blue because it's kind of got like a purplish hue to it. But anyways, really distinctive lines there on the hood. And then popping down below, you guys can see the daytime running lights with the LED headlamps, kind of in signature Acura fashion. And then we do have some fog lights down below. Notice that the grille and most of the trim on the front end is blacked out, except the Acura logo, which is gigantic. And then you do have a camera below the logo. And pulling it all together, I think this is a beautiful looking SUV. Coming on the side here, our tire wheel setup is 255, 45, 20 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the design on the wheel. I think it looks fantastic. You got the metallic gray as well, which contrasts very nicely to the blue on this car. We of course have the A-Spec badge here on the side, and then look at the blacked out trim there on the side as well. And then you notice the mirrors body painted, and then the trim around the windows also blacked out. And then pulling it all together, I love the sharp lines here on the side, and again, those wheels, they look great. So here's our key fob. We've got our engine hold, which is remote start, and then you've got your lock function, unlock, and then the opening here for the hatch, and then you do have the Acura logo on the back, which is pretty cool. But we'll hold this down, and it'll pop it open. Now, popping into the rear, the storage space here with the RDX is actually really solid, and on top of that, you can lower down the seats with these latches to improve the storage space even more so. And actually, we'll just throw this one down so you guys can visually see that. I mean, that is enormous. And then there's actually these like pockets on either, or actually not on that side, I guess just on that side. That's weird that it's just on one side. But anyways, underneath, you can see more storage. And then when you're all done, just press this button right here, and then it will lower the hatch right back down. Now, taking a look at the taillights, you guys can see really sharp design, and then we've got like our RDX badge, or SH all-wheel drive badge as well, and then of course another A-Spec badge on the back on top of that. And then we've got our dual exhaust tips here on the bottom, then parking sensors on top of that. And then putting it all together, you guys can see really sporty design overall. I think they did a good job. Now, taking a look at the door panel here in the rear, you guys can see really nice suede trim here. Look at the stitching that goes across, and then look at the leather trim down below with the contrasted stitching. I think that looks really cool. And then here's one of the speakers for the sound system. Again, really nice fit and finish there. Now, with one of the seats in the rear, you guys can see perforated here in the center, and then notice again with the inserts there, definitely kind of makes this pop. And again, the color contrast of the exterior and the interior on this car. Legroom here in the back is fantastic. We've got a little storage pocket right there, and then you guys can see we've got some vent action here in the back. We also have heated seats and some USBs. And then headroom back here is also solid. And look at this. We have a cup holder armrest.
For the sedans yet?
Now, taking a look at the front door panel here, you guys can see again with the suede insert and then the stitching, and then look at the leather trim with the stitching down below. All of our window controls right here. We've got our mirror adjustments. Notice another speaker for the ELS sound system. Memory seat functionality here. That's to open up the cargo area. And then you guys can see the mirrors. And if you're wondering, they do have blind spot monitoring. It shows like right in that little area. Now, the front seats are just as nice as the rear. Notice perforated all down the center, and then they have the little insert there as well. And then we've got all of our power adjustments here on the side. And look at the A-Spec logo there, and then the pedals down below, which look really nice. Now, I've got a few controls here. This is for the heads-up display, your parking sensors. That's for the safety tech. And then the stability control with the brake hold, and then the parking brake down below. And then the steering wheel is manually adjustable. So taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see really nice leather trim here at the top and at the bottom. And then it's got this golf ball texture here on the sides to get a slightly better grip. Really nice paddles for that 10-speed automatic transmission. And then you guys can see we've got our steering assist with our adaptive cruise control. And then we've got our volume and voice command controls there on the other side. And then you guys can see turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock. Now I'm in love with the gauge cluster here with the RDX. I love how you've got kind of like a lighter background there with the red on top. It just looks so good. Now here in the center, you can just basically see a bunch of different information on the vehicle, and then, you know, obviously different things within the vehicle as well. I actually want to leave it to the all-wheel drive setup so we can see exactly where the power goes. And then something else to notice is when we change the drive mode, it'll actually show different information here. So notice it shows us like the turbo and everything when we pop into the sport mode. And you have a normal, and then a comfort and snow mode as well. And the thing that's really cool about those drive modes is you have a cool animation for all of them. Look at that. Definitely fun. And then in reverse, we do have a backup camera, which retractor lines that turn with the steering wheel. Notice we have a bird's eye view as well because this does have a 360 camera system. It doesn't really need it because it's a pretty small crossover, but it's still nice that it has it. Now, as for the infotainment screen, you'll notice it's pretty far into the dash, and that's because it's not a touch screen. As you can see, you control everything with the keypad, and it makes interesting sounds, but it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I know some people might complain that it's not a touchscreen, but honestly, the keypad's super responsive, and it's very precise in terms of your inputs, just like a mouse, a pad for a laptop, and so no complaints from me. Now down below, we've got analog controls here for the climate system, dual zone climate system, if you're wondering. Heated and ventilated seats. Notice that you have auto for the seats as well as the climate system. So like you can just have auto on everything, and also auto on 76 degrees, way too warm. We're gonna pop it down to 66. And then notice our drive mode selected down below that with the auto stop start. And then this is our transmission gear selector area, which has a bunch of little buttons basically. And then this is that little control for the infotainment system with this whole pad setup. And if you're running this little side thing, that's for the side screen on the infotainment system. So I guess we have screens on top of screens, kind of. Now this is pretty cool. We've got a little charging area here with a wireless phone charging pad, and if you're wondering, it's located underneath that. We got some cup holder action here with some more storage, USB, and then with the center console, decent storage as well. And also you can actually cover this up, which that actually looks pretty nice. Nice padding right there. And look at the suede on the dash. And then if I press this button, you can see the glove box pops open, and again, also decent storage. Now up top here, we do have a sunglass holder and then full panoramic sunroof and then just a black headliner. Now, sorry about the glare, but here's our window sticker for this 2023 RDX. Again, this is the A-Spec. It also has the advanced package and the tech package, so this thing's like fully loaded. Base MSRP $53,350, total MSRP $55,045. And let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood, and hopefully you can now see the heads-up display. Both of the mirrors, shield blind spot monitoring, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Setting off, and is that a Supra? Okay, I had to. They got a lot of cool inventory here. Okay, not just new Acuras, they got some fun used cars as well. But anyways, actually setting off here in the RDX. First off, seat comfort's amazing. That's something that Acura does a really good job with, is making it so that the seats in their cars are very comfortable. Love the steering wheel too. Gives me Audi vibes because of the golf ball texture. And you know, initially I wasn't a fan of these golf ball textured steering wheels, but now that I've, you know, had some more time reviewing cars with them, I actually like them a lot more rather than just like smooth leather steering wheels. Yeah, suspension is really comfortable with this as well, and it drives really well actually. Now I actually want to pay close attention again to the all-wheel drive setup and see where the power goes as I'm getting up and moving. And by the way, if you hear any vibrating in the audio, it's not the car, it's my tripod. Okay, so just partial to the throttle. It's pretty even. And that's what it feels like. It might be saying a little bit more to the front, it looks like, but it's pretty even. That is for sure. Now we're actually gonna pop into the sport mode. So let's get our acceleration here. I'll get a better one from like more of a quote unquote dig, but this engine performs well. Pop into the sport setting with the shifts too. Now I'm in the manual. By the way, I'm just gonna ignore the aggressive driving Audi. I don't know what their problem was, but you know, some people. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it in automatic mode. So just hold down the plus paddle and it'll put it back into automatic mode. Yeah, going to these bumps and everything, no rattles or anything with the car. Like, it very well built, you can tell. Very well built, that is for sure. And then I like the steering too. It's light, but you know, it's pretty direct. So it's like a comfortable steering rack, but then it also it kind of has like a sportier touch to it. That is for sure. Okay, so this is kind of more from a dig. Wow. It moves. Definitely has that turbo lag feel. So there's no hiding that. But it does a pretty solid job. So we'll pop it back into the normal setting. So summing things up, I think the RDX looks great. I'm guessing the car that most people are going to compare this to is probably the Lexus NX, I assume, because similar price point, similar size, and similar powertrain, frankly, as well. What I'd have to say with the RDX is, you know, it's tough. They both have really good build quality. I think they both look cool in their own right. But certain elements of this feel more luxury than the Lexus. There's certain touch points in Lexus I like, but I feel like Toyota's gone, or not Toyota, well, their own, but you guys get what I mean. I feel like they've gone too much into like techie stuff, because like it has like the electronic door handles. This has regular door handles, which I don't know, I prefer personally. So yeah, it'd definitely be a tough choice. Let me know which one you guys would pick, and let me know if you guys want me to try to figure out some sort of comparison with the vehicles. Yeah, suspension on this is so solid, but there's the RDX. That's gonna sum things up with our video on this RDX. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jody Wilkinson Acura here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this RDX. Check out the info in the description down below. I'll see ya.